Okay, let's spend some time talking about things that have to be avoided. Over trading. Almost everybody that I come in contact with that's a new client over trades. And over trading, these things that must be avoided are symptoms. They're not the disease themselves. They are symptoms of a bigger underlying problem, and that's the problem that we're going to cure. But the overtrading thing is a symptom of not understanding markets, not understanding the markets you're trading, whether it's the S&P or corn or Apple stock. Traders generally have anxiety all day long. They're sitting there and they're anxious constantly. They're in a dither over being out of the market when they're out, and let's take the S&P as an example because it's at least familiar to everyone. The S&P goes up 3 handles and a trader in it, they start freaking out, and they either start chasing it or fading it. And then as soon as the trader gets in that market, then the trader becomes anxious because he's in a position, doesn't really know why, except it was going somewhere without him. But now he's in it, and it's slowed down for 30 seconds, and I don't know, where do I put my stop? Do I take it out? Now I've got 3 ticks. Do I take, So it's this constant anxiety over, I'm missing something, or I'm in, and I don't know if I really want to be in. And if you're sitting there and this is a feeling that you have every day, day after day, trading is going to be a really, really miserable experience. This is randomness. I don't like, having losing trades, but it's part of doing business, and I understand it. When I took some trades this afternoon, and I described them in the room. Took them for perfectly good reasons. I would take them again. They didn't work. End of story. Okay, using too much leverage. Any edge. Let's take a hypothetical, and this is hypothetical. Let's say you have a 60% chance of when you commit risk, you have a 60% edge. So, 60% of the time you're going to generate 30% or something like that. If you over leverage, it's not if you're going to blow up, it's a mathematical certainty that you will. And institutions blow up constantly, hedge funds blow up constantly, retail traders blow up constantly, banks blow up constantly, governments blow up. That might not be a good one to get into right now, but leverage is a double-edged sword. And there's a really, really, really bad idea that's out there now, and there are several popular gurus that do this, parlor card trick where they'll, do a webinar and they'll put on, 25 whatever euros or DAX or the S&P and trade it for 3 ticks and say, oh, wasn't that easy? Oh, that's all you got to do all day long, in and out, 3 ticks. Well, that's great if you have extraordinarily deep pockets. The loss that you're invariably going to take doesn't matter. And, but that's not a way to sustain a career in trading. The inverse of this is how professional people trade. The people that I know that sit off by themselves, you're never going to hear about them. You're not going to see them. They're not after publicity, but they'll tell you, you want to make as much money as you can using as little leverage as possible. That way you don't get in trouble. You can make a ton of money trading using very small leverage. You have to be patient. You have to be disciplined, but the leverage thing will kill you. Most people over leverage. You're not. It doesn't make you a pro to trade 50 S&Ps. You know, that's not your goal. Your goal is to trade 2, 3, 4, 5 S&Ps and have a smooth equity curve with relatively small drawdowns. If your returns have a high standard deviation, if they vary a lot from up to down, that's a sign that you're over leveraging, and it's a sign that you're in danger of blowing up. So the idea about, you know, I've got to get to the point where I can trade 5 S&Ps or 10 S&Ps, no. You have to get to the point where you know how to trade one S&P, because that's a rare place to be, because so few people know how to trade one, much less 50 or 100. If you learn how to trade one contract, you're a superstar, trust me. And then it's not a big deal to trade 2 or 3, but you never want to get to the point where you think, okay, I'm a pro, I'm going to trade big size. That's a big, big, big mistake. There is a book, and I know a lot of you have read it, I've mentioned it before, called When Genius Failed. It's the story of long-term capital management, which was a hedge fund. I think it was 97 or 98, somebody Mike Pierre, I'm sure you read that. But it's about guys that started this hedge fund in Connecticut, and 2 of them were Nobel laureates. And one of them was it? I think it was Scholes, the option pricing guy, and I can't remember. Oh, was it somebody else? I can't remember. And then John Merriweather, I think, was part of that crowd too, who's still not in money. So now that's an example of very, very, very smart people, geniuses, quote unquote geniuses, over leveraging and blowing up, and they almost took down, you know, the Western financial system. The surest way to get rich quick is to do it slowly. So what if it takes you not 7 weeks, okay? So what if it takes you 7 months to develop the confidence that you can take a contract or 2 and at the end of every week be profitable? So what if it takes 7 months? If you're expecting to do this in 7 weeks, you're not realistic. And in the big, big picture, if you can do this in 7 months, you've got, you know, the world is your oyster for the rest of your life. So, you know, make the best use of your time and commit to doing this the right way, and don't get over eager or anxious because you're not where you think you need to be. I mean, 7 months, 8 months, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. I mean, does it really matter if at the end of the process you have the confidence and you have the data that proves that you know what you're doing? Okay, things that must be avoided. That was a nice segue into unrealistic expectations. There is a learning curve in trading. It cannot be eliminated, only shortened. The trading industry is built on a promise of totally eliminating that learning curve. It's as if it doesn't exist. There's no mention. Just come in here and we're going to show you what to do. And all you have to do is listen to us and piggyback our trades in our chat room, and you're going to get rich. Well, try that. Try it and get back to me. It doesn't work. Those people can't trade. Anybody that says something that's stupid, I promise you can't trade. There is a learning curve in trading, and actually one of the quickest things you can do, or one of the best things you can do to shorten that learning curve, is to realize that there is a learning curve. At least acknowledge it. You can't go buy a pill that's going to make you a successful trader. You can't read one book. You can't look at one course. You can't sit in one chat room day after day and expect to learn to trade. There is a process involved. There's a learning curve. And this material is part of helping you to eliminate some of the time of a learning curve. And part of the reason it takes so many people so long to learn to trade, it's not that they've tried to trade for 7 or 8 years and they're just, you know, too thick to pick it up quicker. It's that they really don't have 7 or 8 years of experience. They have 1 year 7 or 8 times, because they go from here to this to that to this, to that, to this, and then they mix and match and et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about because we've all gone through that to one degree or another, hopping around, trying different things. It's just the way we wired, I guess. If you have little nor experience trading, don't trade with real money. Study, sim trade. Put yourself in a comfortable position to learn. Put yourself in a psychologically comfortable position to learn. If you're sitting there and when you take a trade, if you care whether or not you make or lose money on that trade about the money, then you need to be sim trading. Losses and gains are just part of doing business. You have some losses, you have some gains. At the end of the week, you want to be profitable. Now, trading can be extraordinarily frustrating. Don't think for a minute that I don't get frustrated and upset and mad and blah, 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 all that other stuff. I'm not Yoda, trust me, sitting here trading. I get upset too, just like you guys do. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you're sitting there obsessed with the next $100 or 200 or 2,000 or whatever it is, then that's telling you that you don't have any business at that point in time trading real money because you haven't developed the confidence to know what you're doing, even if you do know what you're doing. So, give yourself some time to prove to yourself and put yourself in a psychologically comfortable spot where you have legitimately earned the confidence that you're going to need when you start trading real money. And what I'm suggesting to you may not be what you want to hear, but it's the quickest path and the most painless and cheapest to becoming successful as a trader. Okay, under the things that must be avoided, doing anything that almost everyone else is doing. What sells in this business is not what works. The trading industry is unique in that what is in the industry's best interest is not in the interest of its clients, especially the retail client. Maybe the exchanges are far more interested in facilitating the needs and the desires of the larger institutions than they are the retail trader, believe me. And that's fine. I get that. I totally understand that. But you just need to be aware of what this industry is all about. This industry is based on a transaction model. It survives on transactions. The more transactions, the more money the exchanges make, the brokers make. The magazines, the books, the trading education business is built on this quick fix transaction. Let's do a lot of trading. I'm going to show you how you can come in tomorrow morning while you're eating your oatmeal, and by the end of the day, you've got all these profits, and it takes 15 minutes a day and all this nonsense. Those are real popular things. They're very appealing things. Who wouldn't want to have traded and completed their trading by the time they eat their oatmeal in the morning, or bacon, or whatever you're going to eat for breakfast? Well, it doesn't work that way. But it sells, so there's a lot of it out there. It is not popular to tell people the way trading really is, and I know this. I know this very well. Something else that needs to be avoided is an overemphasis on comfort. Comfort is another thing that sells. We all want to be comfortable. None of us want to be uncomfortable. And, it's uncanny. I have these conversations with people that call me up and ask me what we do, and what's your track record in your room, and all the standard questions everybody asks. And I'll start to talk about what we're doing and holding trades, and then I'll invariably get, well, I'm just not comfortable doing that. And there's room in this methodology. and there's room in any time frame you trade to fit your personality. But the comfort thing is so overrated, that especially as you learn to trade, it's sort of a travesty. You've got to learn how to do this, and some of the things that you need to learn to do are probably not going to be comfortable. It's uncomfortable for most traders just sitting there and doing nothing all day. Think about it. Can you sit there and not take a trade all day? Can you sit there and not take a trade for 3 hours? That makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Well, that's one of the primary things that you can immediately learn to do that will improve your trading. If you didn't do anything else except trade less, it would probably improve your trading. So let's not confuse comfort and developing a trading style that fits your personality. And develop is a key recurring concept in this course. It takes time, and time is a key concept in this course. It's a key concept in auction market concepts that you're going to be immersed in over the next 7 weeks. But back to the topic at hand, it takes time to develop comfort when you're learning something new. I mean, was it comfortable when you began learning algebra or calculus or chemistry, or when you first began learning to hit a golf ball or a baseball or a tennis ball or ride a horse? Name something really worthwhile that was initially comfortable. Swimming, riding a bicycle. I could go on and on and on. Most things require, that are worthy of accomplishing, require the ability to overcome some initial discomfort.